The views, thoughts, and opinions on this podcast belong only to the hosts and the guests. They don't necessarily reflect any organization or sponsors connected to us. We aim to keep things accurate, but everything you hear is shared for information, conversation, and entertainment. We're going to dive into good laughs, tough talks, and that genuine feel that you came for. So get comfortable, relax into the vibe, and let the moment unfold. This is Keep It Clean. Lock in.
Because if that means get changed now, did you always then two, if you change it now,
is this needed? Is it accessible? Does it change up everything? What's your thoughts? Did it make any sense? There is a game that's taking place. Yes, that's taking place.
Tell me why I'm watching the game on ESPN. One of the banners in the background is YouTube TV for the game, but we can't even watch it. How does that make sense?
$20. I don't want no $20. I want the game.
And every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.
Ooh, welcome back, y'all. We took a hiatus. All-stars get breaks too. We consider ourselves an all-star crew. You feel me? I know y'all missed us last week, but we got some things to speak about. We can be very direct, man. It's your boy Ray, Bucket Hat Ray. We came outside to play, and I got the homie representing Flint over here, still representing the left side. No affiliation. Go Big Blue. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling, Abe?
I'm doing good. Oh, my guy. We're just talking sports, It's an easy day, so let's get into it.
Yeah, man. It's a holy month when Abe pull outside in the hat, man. Abe's not a hat guy. I don't know if y'all know this about him.
I got a big enough head as it is. I don't need to add any extra to it. It's just when you ain't seen your barber in the time that you're supposed to see, it get thrown off for a few days. That's all.
Yeah, nah, man. I don't know, man. I'm under the impression if you see Abe in a hat, that's like one of the signs of the apocalypse, man. Something ain't going right. You hug your neighbor. Hug your neighbor, man. The earthquake is afoot. Check in with them. But we appreciate y'all being back. The usual, man. Find us at the Keep It Clean Show, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We might have came together as a collaboration. We might add Twitter back in the mix, but we sticking here so far at the Keep It Clean Show. We appreciate all y'all's comments. We appreciate all y'all's support. We appreciate y'all popping up for every time that we drop. Right? Tuesdays is always going to be our pod section, Thursday through Saturday, because I don't have a dedicated day for the sports section. Just know by the weekend, y'all have us loud in your ear, loud and clear. With the NBA schedule, we might function with them. We never know, right? So y'all came in for today. We'll make the cleaning list super short. It's the NBA. If we talk about anything else, it's not going to be more than the NBA. So we know the Winter Olympics existed for sure. We know college sports is active. We got college basketball. We will be giving y'all a clean episode for a March Madness precursor, what our predictions are, which one of y'all might have to listen to us to get your bracket ready, all that good jazz, right? But that's going to be a little bit later down the line. Today we got the All-Star game recap. Again, we back from break. We're going to talk about what the MVP candidates look like and if they may or may not survive the 15-game rule. We're going to get into what teams are looking like the best post All-Star break, post trades, everything as we start heading into the playoffs. And then we're going to touch on just a little bit of what we saw. We had the 1 through 4 matchups on the NCAA basketball side this past weekend. Great games, neutral sites, all that good jazz. So let's get into it, man. Where you want to start? You want to get the easy stuff out the way? You want to dive into the meat and potatoes, or do you have a highlight or anything along those lines as far as what you want to get into?
If I want to talk about I like Bozo of the week, I'd probably say Bozo would be Steve Kerr, with Johnny Kuminga having a breakout first game. 24 minutes, 27 points, like a productive night. We still don't know why that relationship was why it was. It's a really weird conversation to even have. Everybody saw in the playoffs, whenever you put Kuminga in the game, he could make a difference. He could actually score the ball. He's lengthy. He plays good defense. He's someone, he kind of protects the rim. Why he wasn't playing, we will never know until that documentary or the NDA is over for whatever that situation looks like, because He's a talented player. Why he wasn't contributing for the Warriors? That is Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga are probably the only two people that can give us that insight. So while they're both still working for the league, I don't think we're going to hear about it. But once one of those parties leave, I think that's when we'll hear about it.
Okay. We can always speculate on it.
Yeah.
To your point, I do think once Steph retires, the full conversation about Steve Kerr is really going to be had.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There was definitely some things that occurred in that Warriors locker room. You know, you had the Draymond KD fallout and whatnot, but the handling of Jordan Poole, the misses on trades and whatnot. So I think as soon as he retires, and to me, I feel like Steph is calling it quits next year, depending on what they could pull this summer.
Okay.
Maybe, you know, like
one last run,
because he has nothing left to prove either.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I see him, if he decides to come back and they make a trade, you're gonna get him a 1-year Nike deal, maybe. You know, he keep playing with the shoes. You keep playing with the shoes. So
he's about to sign something stupid, David. I'm just saying. Something stupid this offseason. And it's going like he's done the Antas, the Jordans, I think he loves the fact that he can just wear whatever he wants right now, because I'm sure he's stuff that he got free that he just couldn't wear. And now like brands are just sending him stuff so that way they can, you know, Steph Curry was seeing in Jordan, Steph Curry was seeing Nikes. I'm sure he's doing all of that. He might just be one of them independent brands that just decides to collab with everybody when he feels like it. Or he'll sign just a stupid deal, like lifetime $1 billion deal straight out the gate.
Yeah. And he won the rights to his logo. That was a part of the separation agreement.
How do you walk away with the logo?
He won the rights to the logo, and Under Armour being petty, but we'll come back to that. We'll come back. Yeah. Did you have a highlight?
My highlight is, even though we lost to Duke, I still see us as a very strong contender for winning the national championship this year. I don't look at that game as like a real loss, because you're talking about a top 4 team. Like, this is supposed to go down that it did. We didn't get blown out. This went down to the very last few possessions. Like I told you and a friend of ours, like, it's one of them type of things where Boozer was much stronger than I've seen throughout the season. You know, like there's a turning factor, and there's an X factor, and I think he was both during that game. So the fact that he got to chill for like 4 or 5 minutes, didn't come in and still put his presence on the game the way that he did, I mean, it's hard to pass up on him in the draft. I'm telling you, if you need a player, that I don't understand how you look past him, but
yeah. No, I think we talked about it, and we'll come back to it later on, man. The foul trouble that y'all got in early in the game for Michigan.
Don't start with the refs.
No, I'm not starting with the refs. I'm saying I'm just simply the foul.
I'm just saying that
allowed. Yeah, man. But it gave Boozer the comfortability to get comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I will say, I'm gonna go with highlight of the week, man. Nostalgia was there as low as I was feeling about the All-Star game and the All-Star weekend. Mm-hmm. Watching Kawhi go to work, boy, watching
he about to be unemployed, so yeah, of course he.
Yeah, you know, like it's just hey, man. Hey, just in case if y'all are confused about what I can do, you talking about some under the table deals. You know what's right here on the table? This game, this work.
Facts,
bro. Man, and it was one of the moments, man. It's like this is why it's so hard to remove you from that conversation. We're just so mad at your injuries because there was nothing. And it's not like, oh yeah, it's the All-Star game. They weren't playing. I'll give the NBA credit. Them boys were playing. Well, two of the teams. It seems like some of the comments about the foreign teams may or may not have been true. I'm you know, Wemby was trying. There was a couple, but not. So them
Wemby
boys.
was more than trying.
He was, yeah. But he got to the point where it's like you're looking at Kawhi, and I go out on this limb a lot. You've heard me say this. It's like, man, we could talk about health all we want. When healthy, as far as I'm concerned, he is the best player in the league. When he's locked in like that, bro, it's just casual. All the range, the mechanics,
Just
straight up and down jumpers. It's just so boring to watch because
I hate his face. I hate his face. I'm sorry. I think he's a great player. I just hate this face.
Because why are you whipping me with that face?
You know how mad I'd be? And I look over and you just killing me, and this is the face you got?
Like, you look unimpressed by your work as you slapping me all up in the face with buckets, bro. don't do that. And watching him play, and then I will add to that the competitiveness that Anthony Edwards had, because once we got to that game, why Kawhi was such a highlight. Not only was it what he did, it also showed you got them there, and then the stars that were supposed to be the stars, that's what people were there for, they didn't have that gear to keep up with them. And it was tough to see, because you going into that groove, they weren't giving him the rock like they were that last game. It was noticeable. Not here to take a shot at it. I know some people are trying to say it would have been different if Steph was playing. Maybe, but them I love the fact that why I highlighted that is because it showed me, it's like, yeah, the baton isn't going to be dropped the way we thought it was. There's definitely a conversation, right? So my Bozo of the week originally was the dunk contest, but I understand as professionals sometimes it's a little bit tricky. I will reallocate it to, just because he happens to be a mixed martial artist and you got slapped up by a weightlifter and a former MMA, Dean the Great. I don't know if you see my man's going around, but in the span of 24 hours, man, you had the slap heard across the world. Just to get dumped out by one of the cleanest elbows, man. That was just mink, just to the jaw, man. And you walking around with your belts that you won, and then they put belt to the side of your face twice.
Wow.
Dropping the guard after speaking about someone's woman like that wouldn't have been a move that Ray would have did. Wouldn't have been a move that Ray would have did. But now you made the timelines, man. You had some people breaking fast during Ramadan to laugh at you. I just want you to think about that.
Wow.
I just want you to think about that, right? That's what I have for the highlights. That's what I have for the highlights in both. I do want to touch on this really quick before we get anything just spawned me. How you feel, really quick breakdown. Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2. Initial thoughts.
I think we left it at a really good place. I don't think we need to see this again. I mean, it'll be good TV if they put it on Netflix, whatever, so you can just like watch it, kind of how you do like the Jake Paul fights, and it's on. I might turn it on, but I don't really think I'm paying the 70 ball to watch Mayweather and Pacquiao fight it out for the second time. I think we left it in a really good place. I think it ended exactly how it was supposed to. Manny hasn't really fought in a while, and I'm just trying to figure out, does he need some bread? Is the jet not jetting like it used to? Like, what's going on? So, like, I don't know. It feels like a money grab to me. It doesn't really feel like anything. Somebody called them and gave them a number that was just, they couldn't walk away from.
Okay. At first I had that same reaction. Okay. I sat and thought just for a little bit more. I might be of the opinion that this one's better than the first one for two reasons.
Okay.
The first one, when they announced it, they only had about 2 months before the fight actually happened. So promotional wise, you can run it. You got about 5 months to really put it out there. Secondly, Pacquiao wins in this situation regardless. You get a chance to rematch, your revenge, and then Floyd is putting everything on the line with this undefeated record. He doesn't have to do this, which garners the attention, right? Then add the part where, just like you were saying, they saw what was going on with Jake Paul, and then there's money on the table. The piece of
right now.
Right. So the piece of it being free while you're getting the bag, so you're going to have all the eyes on it. As far as sports goes, I think we get a cleaner fight because you don't have. I'm not sure what the contracts are. They just announced it. When I say cleaner, because you remember the whole controversy the last time was whether Pacquiao was clean or not. He was just coming off the performance.
I get that.
Allegation. Right. Cool. Are they older? Yes. But why it looks interesting, reflexes tend to wane quicker than power does.
Right.
The idea that your undefeated record may not make it through is enough for me
to get your attention. Okay.
Especially if it's free.
Especially that's what I'm saying. If it's on Netflix, bro, and I can turn this on and I can just I can watch the fight kind of candidly, because I am a boxing fan, but if I want to watch it candidly, just hey, let me turn this on, let me see where we at. Let me see some of the fights before the fight. You know what I mean? Let me figure out what's going on. I can do that because that'll be fine. But I don't see myself going out of my way spending $100, 70, whatever, to pay to watch the fight. I might just let Instagram tell me what's going on in that case.
Yeah. So here's why I think it would be free. Right? You've seen what's going on with the Jake Paul fight. Anthony Joshua,
right.
a legitimate boxer, getting in the ring,
right.
turned out everything went well. Two,
right.
to the conversations that we've had before, Showtime being on Paramount, giving away UFC cards now, as they've been doing this year, where you used to have to pay for them, now they're playing free. In the opportunity for boxing to take over, the UFC hasn't given a card that's really drawn everybody. Most people now, if you're just a casual fan, you don't know who's the big name right now for UFC, right? So Dana White kind of opened the door for something like this. You're not watching for the McGregor. Ngannou has left. That you two have a dispute. He's doing these exhibition matches in boxing now with Tyson Fury and whatnot. Izzy has filled out, right? So Adesanya's gone. So now the door is kind of open. So y'all are giving away free things. And if I'm looking at it from the Netflix side, we already talked about the wars that have been going on with the streaming platforms and everything. Then you get to capitalize on, here's the boxing piece. You get to put names back out there. If this goes well, you get to try it out with the fight that nobody's expecting a lot from anyways, but you got household names. If this works, you're telling me we don't see
the attention.
Yeah, like Shakur versus enter here, Devin Haney versus, and it's going to be coming over to that platform where it used to be. That's the other part for the last fight. If I remember correctly, it was split between, as far as the marketing, HBO and Showtime. HBO, if I remember correctly, was on Pacquiao's side, so you had the whole documentary about his buildup. Showtime had it for Mayweather, but because they were separate, you didn't get a chance. Because they were separate, you didn't get a chance to really combine them together and then get everybody garnered. This is just all on one platform.
Right.
So you've seen the whole thing. This might, I'm looking at that as more than just the fight. It might be a major sporting event of where, you know what? Because I'm looking at it this way. I hope y'all do so good that you stop giving me NFL games in the middle of the week that we don't need to see. I hope Netflix pulls completely out of the NFL. Boxing. Leave this alone. We got boxing.
You see, your next job is a promoter, right? Because you definitely promoting this fight right now. So I can see I can see it.
Because I do enjoy boxing. Shakur beat the brakes off that boy. Shakur beat the brakes off that boy. Devin Haney, you are a sprinter. I see you. Devin Haney is that weight class's version of Anthony Joshua when he was avoiding Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. We see what you're doing. You know exactly. You are fighting people that don't need to be in the ring with you. Go see Shakur. Go see him. Go see Tank.
He got some hands. He got some hands.
You know how nasty Shakur, especially having Bud in his corner, just two dogs. Man, come on. Come on, don't do this. Avoid the smoke. I see what you're doing, Devin. You don't want, and you know what annoys me the most about Devin? It's really his dad. It is because you keep saying things and then calling people out their name and being weird about it.
I mean, but in boxing, who's running his mouth like this? I'm just Be fair.
Okay.
Tyson,
okay.
I mean, like you start tossing some names around, you can pretty much point to a family member who's getting them in trouble in a few of these fights. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but there is a difference. Like, say for example, there's a difference between when the way that people talked about LeVar Ball is the way I feel like they should be talking about Devin Haney's father. Because LeVar gave 3 great products and was putting them on. He had the shoe endorsement. He has all that. Devin Haney's dad, you're not as good as him, so you're trying to live through him, and you keep talking. You're talking. He's going to fight. You're not fighting.
Right.
You're not fighting. Devin isn't even talking like that.
You're running him into a brick wall. Yeah.
There you go. So with him being undefeated, and then if there is a loss, the collapse of what that looks like will heavily not only weigh on him, it has a lot to do with what you're saying. It's more what I'm getting at. You're talking down, and it's also that piece of what is the difference between, we'll say, like, with all due respect, we've seen how Pat Mahomes' dad's been moving around. He has his legal issues. We talk about Ja Morant's dad. We see LeVar Ball. We even see how LeBron goes about fatherhood.
Right.
Devin Haney's dad keeps talking street stuff.
Yeah.
And making it bleed over into the sport. And like, that's where the separation is. Like, you already have a combat sport to where this could be settled. You're not the fighter. If you feel that way, you get in the ring. I don't know. Right. Like, that's where I feel like the difference is. It's like, okay, cool. But all in all, if this goes well, I think I genuinely believe it's like this will be a better product, because the first one was so forgettable. The first, he won, but it was so forgettable. Really.
Yeah.
And it was marred with the fact like, oh, Mayweather ran for too long. You waited till he was old. Well, they're both old now. So now what? now what? What are we gonna do? Pacquiao been getting beat up in the exhibition matches. Mayweather's been winning. He hasn't been a good look. I might agree with you. Does he need the money? I might also question, does Mayweather need the money? There's been allegations there. I don't know.
Hey, we all know the boy likes to blow his cash. I'm not saying he doesn't have investments or anything, but I'm just likes to blow money. So this might be a way for him to just recoup some, like it's not that big a deal.
Seeing $1 million in the backpack in real life was crazy.
It's different.
He wasn't lying. Like,
he was one of them first people. Like, we've seen rappers and like athletes and stuff like have money on them, but like for him to just carry around that with security that have insured money with him and all this other stuff, like that's the stuff where you kind of have to realize Floyd was one of the first to do it like that, to where had that kind of cash on him at all times for no reason other than just to blow it. So I will say some of the cash that these guys get offered now, though, like it's probably hard for someone like Floyd to turn that down, because one, he loves money and he loves to like spend it, but two, just like he could probably earn like half his like earnings from like fighting in total in one fight with Pacquiao. You know what I mean? Like, if they throw him that type of bag, he's not going to turn it down. I wouldn't either. So as much as I'm talking crazy, they call me talking that, come get this bag, I'd be right outside. Mike Tyson had no problem in a fight with Jake Paul for that check. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think we'd be fools if we believed that the purse was 50-50, first and foremost. We'd be, and secondly, like, with Mike doing it is a little bit different. This isn't an exhibition match, so your undefeated record is on the line.
Right. That's what Tyson do. Yeah.
You don't have to pay me if I might lose. I'm gonna walk away. Okay.
If I might lose my legacy, I'm walking away with something stupid. Yeah.
Just sure. Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead, man. How about we get into college basketball, bro? We touch on them games right quick.
Let's do it.
What you see? Yeah, what you see, man? NCAA.
So
we had we had Michigan versus Duke, and then we had Arizona versus Houston. So Michigan was number 1, Duke was number 3, Houston's number 2, Arizona's number 4. I believe the Houston-Arizona game was first,
Arizona, yeah, correct. So it was one of those things where when I saw Houston playing Arizona, Fleming, the point guard, I know of him. I've been watching him because he's one of the like standout freshmen that have been going crazy this year. But watching him work in the game, he has such a pace. Whenever you see a guy who's just got the the pace of like a grown man's
Yeah.
game. He picks and chooses his spots when he's going. He knows how to get downhill. He knows whenever to get, his teammates involved. He makes the right passes. He knocks down open jumpers. It's not a question of like, hey, I have to run this set for him. This is the only way we can get him going. Fleming got it going from all over the place. So watching him was really, because Houston has returning players that are really good. So it's not as if, they had to go get this freshman in order to kind of right the ship. They have players that are there, Uzan and, McCarty. Like, they have players there that are returning, Sharp. Like, they have players that are there to, like, make stuff happen. And then you're leaning on a freshman because he is, and I love that team dynamic because everybody's kind of, like, moved out the way a little bit. And they're like, this is our guy. They kind of follow in his lead. So watching them play with Fleming was really kind of interesting. And then obviously with Arizona, I mean, Bradley was hooping. And it was, I again, a grown man's game. When you're watching somebody play, you're like, he's Lee Betty. You kind of have that moment. You just go, yeah, he's different. Bradley was a standout player the entire game. And the matchup of him and Fleming was like really box office for that game.
I did like the dogfight that occurred. I feel like this is one of those games where Arizona won, but I think Houston needed that punch in the face to enter the tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the last couple of years that we've seen them, they've always been a high-ranking team going deep into the tournament, but it gets shaky whenever they can't score. We've seen that.
Yeah.
It's been consistent. Sharp is usually their go-to guy. So now having that capability to rely on the freshman, like you're saying, and give Sharp the ability to move around. Now, the only thing that we're concerned about, just as usual, 2 years in a row, game on the line, ball was in Sharp's hands, didn't go well. Right.
But really last year.
Yeah, right. But this year's team looks more complete to the extent of they can handle being more well-rounded, stay in the game defensively, not have to rely on dynamic scoring to stay ahead. You saw it with Arizona. For every time Arizona started to pull away, Houston chipped right back in. They was right there. They maintained it. So you're now trading the lead. You're going back and forth all the way to the finish. Arizona did get the game, but I think this was more beneficial for Houston to get this in their system now. Now, they did end up losing the following game that they played. Right. They lost to was it Kansas? No, it wasn't Kansas. Yeah, it was Big 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost to Kansas right after, right? So you took a tough loss, and then you took a secondary loss, and it's like, okay, humble yourselves. Reset. Cool. Arizona, on the other hand, woo, that might be a squad that I look at, because if we go to the second game, what Arizona showed me that was a difference between Michigan and Duke was that offense is pure across the board. Anybody can get it, right? Where compared to Houston, Duke, and Michigan, you had the one or two players that we are relying on. We need you to work in order for us to work. Arizona said, we work as a team, right? Do with that as you will. And I think that's where we had the conversation, at least for that first game. Second game.
Okay, no, before you jump over to the second game, let me ask you a question. Houston to me reminds me of like the actual Houston Rockets, where you need a player to come in because you need the big shot at the last minute. And it's say out loud, especially with NIL and everything else, that like the freshman Fleming might be that can help them get over the hump. So instead of it being Sharp, who usually takes a last second shot, or Uzman, or one of these other people that they try to like rotate through to take that last second shot, I feel like Fleming is actually that guy for them.
Yes, I agree with that. And this will go in, I'm sure we can circle back. You were in a group chat after it got broken down to us by our college sport analysts. This is the year of the freshman,
Yeah, for sure.
Standout freshman. Where it's going to
Yeah.
come down to is, are they prepared for the tournament? Are they locked in? You know, this is a different type of pressure, but they've been hooping something crazy. So, but you are right. Is Sharp okay with not being the go-to guy?
Gotta be. I know something to be that guy because he got that dog in him. We know that, but like I feel like he's gotta be, because you can't be in this year in this season, and then when that time comes, you go, yeah, that's my shot. No, no, sir. Please move out the way. This is the Fleming show. You are a part of it. If you're smart, you join the Fleming show so that way you can boost your draft stock a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, you just got to come to terms with that, honestly.
Okay. Well, speaking of solo acts, talk about what y'all got over there at Michigan, man. You spoke on Boozer a little bit earlier. After y'all, after the game, what did you feel about the game, and then how did you feel about it after?
So, like I said before, just kind of touching on that again, I didn't feel bad when we lost. I didn't like the way that we lost because I felt like the referees definitely put their foot in a little too much, to where Duke was allowed to play a lot more physical than we were. And that's kind of something that we rely on, is our physicality. Now, obviously, Cadeau, like shooting from the outside, that's our like 40% 3-point shooter for the season. So if he's not really hot, or he ain't got a few of them going in, that's going to show forth in like our production, because we do rely on that a lot, sometimes a little too much. Obviously, our guy number 23, like he's our guy. And we have to live and die by it. Like, it's not even like, oh, this game it's him, the other ones could do. No, like, he's our guy. So even when he hit the big shots for us, even when he had us going down the stretch, it was like, okay, this is what we got him for. This is what he's supposed to do. He's getting us back in it. And it just felt like the Boozer show at the last couple of minutes. Obviously, like I said, Boozer got to sit for like 4 or 5 pivotal moments.
Yeah.
Like, minutes. Like, it wasn't like, oh, like, let me let him sit in the first part of the second half. Like, he got to sit in between like the 10 to 5 minute mark. And I'm sorry, if you're comfortable with your guy sitting on the bench that long so you can give him the rest that he needs so he can finish the rest of the game and still win by 5, like, that part is scary to think that Duke can do that. But again, I felt like we went tit for tat with them for most part of the game. There were some calls. Obviously, you can lean on the calls and say that was what happened. I don't like doing that. I like saying you should have never been in that position in order for the referee to have that place.
Okay. When you watch that game, after we see Mara get in foul trouble early, right? Which the third one was just, what are we doing, right? The first and second one, I think the second one was a little ticky tack, personally.
Yeah,
it was the first one of those that they called. I was like, I see it, but in a game like this, let the boys play. It was a little too early.
Yes.
The third one, I was mad at both him and the coach. Like, why are you out there? Especially at that height, you're 7'3", just do it, right? And so now, when that occurs, I want to ask you, is it when you get into the foul trouble, other than Cordell 7'2", the height then drops down to 6'9". Y'all are essentially playing small ball if both of them get in foul trouble. Are you concerned about that? Or do you think that Michigan was exposed, or is it just more Boozer is like that and you can deal with this type of game? We'll figure that out once we get to another challenger, like as such, maybe deeper in the tournament.
Yeah. I feel like it's like we talked about before. Yaxel's the guy we got to rely on, number 23. Like, we got to rely on him. So it's Boozer who just showed you a different type of strength in that game. You got to give credit where credit's due. He literally was the X factor for that game. And I feel like we learned a lot by playing them this early. So not like playing them early enough to where we can like fix it before we get to the tournament, because it's almost like playing like a Jokic or one of those type of guys. He's going to get his. We just got to make sure y'all don't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
actually put a body on him. Mara's got to come out because he's not big enough. If we put the big on him where we can actually be physical, which I thought he did a pretty good job of, the refs are going to have to let us play in the tournament. So if that shows true, I believe we match up better for that in the tournament than we do in a regular season game.
Okay, man. Pretty simple. As just to look at the standings as of right now, I believe since then, rankings. Let's go with rankings. Yeah, right now Duke is number 1, Arizona's 2, Michigan's 3rd, Iowa State is 4th, Houston, because they took 2 losses back to back, they're now at 5th, UConn 6th, Florida 7, Purdue 8, Gonzaga, Boo, and Illinois at 10. Right?
Have you seen? Looking at those records,
yeah.
Like this is a crazy year for college basketball. Like
Yeah.
I know we're on football and the NBA and all this other stuff. This is a crazy year for college basketball. So
and it's like
for the tournament.
It's a mix of, you have household names, you have the blue chip names, and then you have some that are in the top 10 and really knocking at that door that you don't consistently see, right? Purdue is usually a middle of the pack team. You're Iowa State, since when, right? since when? Illinois making a comeback, has been a little bit, they've been consistently rising. Then you have the households of the Duke, the Arizonas, they're up there. UConn will always be scary. Virginia at 11. Nebraska is known for football. Nebraska is known for football. Here they are at 12, only losing 4 games.
Nebraska, Wisconsin they switch. So like a couple of years, Wisconsin will be it, and then Nebraska comes out of nowhere. You're like, but they're not.
You know what I'm saying? Like we have Kansas at 14, which is usually a team that's somewhere in the top 10 easily, and UNC at 18. And then meanwhile, out of nowhere, Miami, Ohio is 27-0 at number 21, right? Like you just got teams that are there. It's like we are looking at a fun tournament. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we'll touch on that. But now let's get to the meat and potatoes, man. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, man. Let's talk a little NBA, bro. Let's run. Abe presented us a question that it seems very time sensitive. So I'm here to discuss it, right? Because of the way that the NBA is set up, there's a certain amount of games that have to be played. So what we may end the season with as our MVP candidates may not actually be play-wise who the MVP candidates are. So if we stop the league right now, you want to go 4 or you want to go 5 players? How you want to do this? If we stop the league right now, who would be 4? Who would be our NBA MVP? Let's break it down. No, or you know what? We'll save MVP for last. Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year.
I mean, is there a person on the planet that's not named Wemby that we care about for defensive player of the year? Because that's pretty wrapped up. If he qualified, I don't know. He might have had more blocks in one game for like someone else in a couple of months. So, yeah, I mean, defensive player of the year, I mean, you've got people scared to shoot 18-foot jumpers because this guy's on the floor. So I don't really see it being anybody else but Wemby, but I'm open to conversation if you got somebody else.
It's hard not to have him, man. I'm trying to pull up the stats, man. He's averaging just defensive rebounds, 9.2 defensive rebounds a game, right? Well, giving us almost 3 blocks a game, man. He can guard all across the floor. Like it's so crazy to see somebody. You know how they talk about how a post has to step out when the ball gets rotated. Maybe there was a switch and they got to get all the way out to the 3-point line. He just has to move maybe a couple feet from the block and just reach. And you
Give us the game you talked about when you're talking about this dude was scared to shoot an 18-foot because Wemby was standing midway in the paint.
He's what people expect Gobert to be because they're give or take the same length. And
He's
that's what
Gobert's contract to be paying out to be doing.
Ooh. Point A, because boy, that is that fact, man. Because
that money is going to charity.
What? Because there's no way you should be getting that contract. Yeah, okay. Defensive Player of the Year. Is there even a conversation elsewhere?
I mean, Alex Sarr gets like 2 blocks a game. I think Wemby's at 2.93, something like that right now. But I mean, at any point in time, Wemby can turn that up and be like 4-5 blocks a game, where it's just because it's spread through 82 games. So
yeah,
but like the fact that he's like doing numbers that haven't been done in the league before, that's a little nuts. I mean, he's like, how many years has Wemby in the league? 2, 3?
No, this is his third year. This is his third year.
Okay. 3rd year. My God.
Yeah, because he won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Stephen Castle won it last year, so this is his 3rd year.
Okay, my God, like the number put forth at the block, he will be the all-time blocking leader.
Okay. What about Evan Mobley? Is he still in contention currently? I'm looking at 2025 because he won it last year. Let me try to pull up.
That was only hurt.
That's a very fair statement.
So that's the only reason why Wemby didn't win it last year. Had he been healthy, had he played those games, he would have won it.
That's a very fair statement.
From now until he feels like stop doing what he's doing. This is his you remember how LeBron was in the league at a certain time where they just gave him the trophy? This is Wemby's trophy until he decides otherwise. Period.
Yeah. Okay. Offensive Player of the Year, because that's always the same way for football. It's the consolation prize.
The person who's not going to get the MVP, but he'll get Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah. I mean, there's an argument for your top leaders. You've got Luka, you've got Shea, you've got Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey. That's the top 5 right now, and Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey are both tied at 20.1, which is crazy to say out loud. Tied for 4th, 30 ball in a game. But I mean, offensively, can you touch Luka right now? Even with the turmoil that's going on with the team and all this other stuff, offensively, is there?
I think Shai's in the conversation.
Yeah, I give a case for Shea. I also can give a case for Anthony Edwards because these are both dogs. But I don't know. I feel like we can give it to Luka without it being a big deal.
Hold on. Casually though, are we giving it to? Okay, because we're saying this is the consolation prize.
Right. This is a scoring title prize.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Understood. Because I was about to say
because Luka's probably not getting MVP, so you probably give it to him for Offensive Player of the Year.
If he doesn't win MVP, do you give Luka Offensive Player of the Year over Jokic? If Jokic doesn't win MVP, he's averaging a triple-double a game.
Right.
A game.
But right now, even with the triple-double that he's doing, he's only averaging 28 points a game.
Isn't he top 3 in assists?
He might be. I hear the complete game that you're putting together. Hear it. Yeah, no, I think he's number 1 in assists. He's like 10.4 right now, I think, in assists. Yeah. But see, that's why I'm like, I don't even want to have that conversation because Jokic should be MVP. So
is he clear over Shea for MVP? Is he?
See, this is where it gets fun with us with the NBA talks because I don't know what's going on. I love Shea's game. I love watching him play. Jokic been turning up. Like, I don't know. Shea doesn't have to play most of the time in the fourth quarter because they're already up 20 or
Yeah,
25, whatever. So, like, that's hard to pin against him because it's like he didn't play with his food. He, like, handled it so he didn't have to play. So I'm not
yeah,
taking, but, like, Jokic has been in some, like, dog fights in the games because Denver's not as good as OKC. And then he's the one that's bringing them out of situations, not Jamal Murray. So I don't know,
okay.
bro.
So let's take a quick step back because I don't
Yeah.
want us to sound like we favoring them too. If we went with who are the top 5 candidates right now, based on what
Okay.
every site is putting out, it's SGA,
Okay.
Jokic, Cade Cunningham,
Yep.
Victor, and Luca. Those are the 5.
See, and there's a strong case for Cade this year
There's
too.
a strong case for
They're number
Cade.
one.
You
He's
know,
average,
I,
a decent amount. Like this is a good year
you know
to
what I'm saying. I don't want y'all to miss this. You people watching. He wears a hat for the first time. It just so happens to be Detroit.
Oh my God.
It
Yeah.
just so happens to be who his real team is. Don't think that just
Whatever.
flew by, but
Whatever.
just so happens.
If I buy
K,
it, a Detroit or a Yankee hat. It's one of those two. So don't even listen to what he talks.
allegedly.
Look, you see it? It's right
No,
there.
we don't. We don't see it. we don't see it, bro. No,
Whatever, man.
Cade is in the conversation. So what we're looking at, the reason why we're having this conversation now, because we have to mark it. If do you have it up? If not, I can find it. A lot of these players that we are mentioning there's a strong possibility they may not be eligible for the awards. I believe Jokic
Right.
has one more game to be missed. Like all
Yep.
these games, SGA, Wemby, Jokic, and Luca are at risk.
Yep.
Jokic misses one.
Jokic got one more to miss. Jokic has one more game to miss this season. Turned ankle, limping off. He's got one more game to miss, and he's out. So Shea's at 11 games missed, and then there's a few like Wemby. Wemby's missed some games this year to where he's a couple games away. So if any of these teams start doing any type of load management, like David was talking about earlier, if there's any type of load management that happens for any of these teams,
Yeah.
that's it.
Is there a necessity? Is there a necessity to talk about this rule? Because the people that were mentioned, they were genuinely hurt this year. This wasn't a load management thing. They were actually, I know we had turned ankle, we had a knee issue. It is the rule solid? Does it need to be shifted? What do you think about that?
It gets to a point where, yes, people are actually hurt, but because the tomfoolery has been happening for like the last 10 years about load management and all this other stuff, it's hard to say this is just so far off of what we've been doing already. You know what I mean? Like the guy might be ready in 2 games, but he takes 5 to come back. It's one of those type of things where I think the league is putting pressure on the product, which is the players, and saying, hey guys, we need to keep pushing this revenue. So if you're able to play, you need to be on the floor. The kids that are coming to these games are here to watch you. You need to be on the floor. So I think there's some of that that's kind of happening in the background. Whereas, yeah, it sucks whenever you have players that are legitimately hurt and they're going to miss out on MVP honors, especially when you and I both know when they touch the floor and they're the reason why their team wins.
Yes.
So I don't know if we need to get rid of the rule because I still believe that you need to be playing majority of the games in order to be, considered for MVP. I don't know if 65 is the number that I love, especially whenever that's not even half. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're mark. So I'm honestly cool with like 50 to 52 games, and
Woof. You know what? Because I'm okay. I was gonna say 20. I think 20 is reason. I think 20 allows for both an injury and potential load management.
Okay.
Because if you play 82
You're saying
games,
20 games missed. I got you. Okay.
yeah, because if you're playing 82, the load management piece comes into play because even if you get closer to the end of the season, we know certain teams will have a particular record where they're satisfied. There's no need to risk it. You might
Right.
want those awards, but then it would come down to a business decision where they're like, no, we're not
Right.
going to play you. You have to deal with that. And we also know those awards are contract incentives, right? That's just if that's just on the clean piece of it, and it has nothing to do with injury. If we're allowing the space for an injury, a rolled ankle might take 4 weeks. Four.
Depending on what
So
type of severity.
So if we're trying to just do, you're trying to find the balance, at least to me, between normal wear and tear with a little bit of higher risk, like a higher severity, just a tad bit. Because if you have a freak situation where, like, say if Kyrie came back when his projected date was in January, he's missed all of November, all of December, and say he just went nuts, you wouldn't be eligible because of that freak injury. And I understand that. A hyperextended knee, something along those lines, like you might have to, I think, look into the frequency of the types of injuries. If it's just usual wear and tear and your average lost time with hamstrings, ankles, knees, it seems to be somewhere between 3 to 6 weeks, then I think you can take that into incorporation, split it in the middle, and say, all right, I will give you 20 games. 25 seems like a lot, but I'll give you 20 games in the consideration of this injury may take 4 weeks. I'll split it in the middle. If it's 3 to 6, I'll spot you 4, because we've also seen people come back sooner. You can't control how the body heals, right? Like, are we gonna go with the extremes and then measure it out for every time Anthony Davis gets hurt? No, because you can win the MVP off of 4 games by that standard. Cool. You know, outlier to the rule. Are we gonna push it to where you have people playing every single game? That's what it looks like, and I understand that feeling. Like, who is this that's gonna pop up after you got through these 4? Who actually deserves it? Because it's probably clearing the space. I think even Cade only has maybe 5 more games that he can miss. So if you take away those 5, I don't even know who's after that, to be honest with you. And so I feel 20. My mind says 25 is a stretch. 30 seems like a lot, man. Like, you only have to play 52. So what do you do with the money? Now we're talking Kawhi.
So, but to me, Kawhi missed more than that. But what I'm saying is, to me, I'm in that mindset where you kind of brought up, where you're saying, okay, at the end of the season, teams are going to sit a player anyway. So if I know I've had an injury and I've got, 15 games under my belt, and we're at the end of the season, we're the number 1 team by 8 games and nobody can catch us, and the last 5, I can just sit and I can still win the honors. That's kind of like my mindset when it comes to that. So I'm of the mindset that the guys who are in the MVP are probably in a chance to play in a big playoff push or run. So giving them an extra 5 games or so that way they can still be healthy going into the playoffs, so we can get a good product during the playoffs. That's where I'm kind of the understanding for that.
I'm tracking. I'm with that. And it makes it more difficult too, because once we start getting into these weeds, it's almost like a case by case basis, and understandings like each season is different, because on the east side of the bracket, we know it's always clear with the first 4 every single year. Detroit has a 5.5 game separation on Boston with 43 wins, and then all of a sudden it becomes very close. We see Boston, New York, Cleveland all separated by give or take 2 games, with Toronto being there. Surprisingly, Philly's in this conversation. Embiid has had the quietest year. One of these weeks, we will talk about that fall off of what Joel Embiid went from to now, understanding the injuries. Meanwhile, in the West, the records look kind of similar. OKC has a 2-game lead on San Antonio with 45 wins. San Antonio has 42. And shout out, if we go by Phil Jackson's rule, the 40 and 20, 3 teams have made it. Detroit, OKC, San Antonio. If Boston wins their next 2, they'll be in it. They're 38-20, so they have to win. Well, no, he said you have to win 40 before you lose 20. So
Lose
they
20,
might.
right?
So we got 3 teams. Okay, but Houston's third with a 6-game separation between them and San Antonio, and then it gets into Denver and Minnesota. So these players might need to play, which makes this year really interesting. They might need to play, which means just on the other side, if you play, you're also prone to injury. That makes it tricky. Wait, 15 might be tough. 15 might be tough because, boy, if you lose out on those awards, those contract incentives, and that's also counterintuitive as well. If you want them to play and you're saying fans are coming to watch you, I then take away your ability for a super max and whatnot, or whatever incentives you may have. That seems counterintuitive. I probably have to look into that a little bit more. I'm 20-25. I 25 is high side for me, 20 is low.
That's 30 is too much. 30 is too much for you.
Yeah, because spreading out those 30 across the season, you got 82 games. And we know if you're the ticket seller, that's a lot of games that, especially because of the way, I think it's more the way it's handled. That's what I'll say. Okay. 30 seems like a lot because a lot of the times without knowing or seeing the injury occur, they may not announce it until the day of.
Right. So you're saying there's going to be some under the table situations happening whenever you go.
Right. Oh, because we often know it's like, okay, if we'll say Golden State, right? Golden State is on their East Coast tour. They have 6 games away, and then a day before,
back-to-backs.
So a day before they take off, Steph Curry's not traveling with the team. He has a rolled ankle. All the tickets have already been sold.
Right.
What are we doing? Like all the tickets are sold. So now you feel the way. So it's like, yeah, but I got 30. I get to move around. It's like, I don't know. It's like,
I mean, they already are taking advantage of the rule as we speak with the 17 game rule. So I understand giving them 30 might be a far-fetched conversation. I feel like it's almost like when they do like the red shirt thing in like college.
Yeah.
You evaluate the situation and kind of go based off of that. Now, obviously, there's going to be doctors out there that are paid by the teams that'll write the craziest diagnosis about the situation and be like, hey, he's got a, broken this, that, here's the records to prove it. We all know that is where things get a little too convoluted. But I'm just saying, I know the teams that are in that spot that are probably fighting for the top couple spots. If they're in a season where they're already where they're supposed to be, missing 5 more games won't hurt them, and it won't hurt their case for MVP either. So I'm kind of with you. I've come down off the 30. I think 25 might be where I would probably hold off at, because I believe still most of those injuries that we talk about, high ankle sprains, contusion to the knee, something like that, those are pretty lengthy injuries in the right case. So a great player to have to suffer for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that at all. We could close it out here. Are you still standing on your predictions on who you had for Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals and the NBA championship?
No. No, I'm not. The Pistons have shown me a few things the last couple of weeks, and I've been closely paying attention, not because that's my team. I am a LA Lakers fan. I've been one since I was a child, but they've been showing something that I'm like, okay. So I'd probably have to say that the team that I would switch up on would be the Knicks. I think Pistons and Celtics looks like a really good matchup right now. But still, I might still lean on the Knicks if things work out to where they play each other, to be like Pistons Knicks. And the reason why I say that is because if the Celtics get far enough in the playoffs, I'm not sure missing Jason Tatum, even though they've been playing well without him, missing Jason Tatum will help them get to that next level.
Okay. If we stick with the East, with the new development of James Harden fractured finger, not really sure what that turnaround is. It is still late February, so he might be able to come back. A fracture, if it doesn't require surgery, I haven't been able to look too far into it since it was just announced, is 4 to 6 weeks. So you might be coming back right as playoffs start. It's not your leg, so you can still be in quote unquote playoff shape. I don't know. Do you know if it's a shooting hand or not?
I don't know.
Okay. So Cleveland looked I was already on record not necessarily believing in them anyway, specifically because of Donovan Mitchell. But
and the Hawks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to say it. 08 Atlanta Hawks.
It's very fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Or are they it went from the Hawks to Toronto. Are they just the next in line? Because remember, the Raptors were always extra good, but could never get. I understand you're running into LeBron, but it was essentially the same. Okay,
LeBron had a shoe coming out.
Crazy disrespect.
His greatness about beating the Raptors every single time.
Crazy disrespect.
That shoe needs to be shot down. I'm sorry. You cannot have that on your foot when you come on, man. Disrespect.
Look, the way I look at it, if I'm DeRozan, I will take that drive from Sacramento to LA to run the Wings. Because you gotta see, you're not just gonna. They had the Raptor-ish logo on the back of the shoe.
Back.
Disrespect.
I can't even act like this ain't really got nothing to do with me. You know how like a concept shoe will come out and be, that's just what they say in the streets. Nah, fam.
Nah, man.
The Raptor logo on the back of the shoe. So just in case. And it's gold.
Like when, right? Come on, man. It's like when Jay-Z does his disses. You can't say it's me, but you know it's me. you know. And so now if
you know it, like stop it. Yeah.
So now if you say something back, you look crazy. It's like nah.
Right.
Okay. So I'm standing on Detroit. And you make a great point. You might sway me there. If they have to run into each other, I don't even if Jason Tatum came back, it's just that's such a tall task to get ready in the span of that. And it's like I also don't think it's worth it, man. You are a franchise player. New York just has bonded way too well together where I see them beating Boston probably in 4-2, honestly. But if they don't run into each other, I can also see New York being knocked out by anybody that's not Boston. Yeah. So it's a toss-up there, but I'm a side New York. How you feel on the West? What did you say last time?
In the West, that's a great question. I'm pretty sure I said Thunder Spurs.
Because I want to say I said Houston. I think I had Houston, and I can't. I think I had Houston, and then somewhere in the toss-up between the Thunder and Spurs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think I might have been on some BS before and said like Lakers, Thunder, or something, just to kind of throw my team in there. But if I'm being realistic, I think you're looking at a Thunder Spurs Western Conference Finals. If that comes to fruition, that'll probably be the heavyweight bout we've all been asking for.
Okay, I agree with you, except I genuinely only feel logically can understand all the pushback, only feel like if Houston and OKC run into each other, I have Houston. I have a genuine dog in Amen Thompson outplaying the potential dirty shenanigans of a Lou Dort, right?
Okay.
I have SGA going off, but if Fred just happens to show up just a little bit, if SGA gets 30 and he gets 20, Houston's winning.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I don't think Chet is being exposed properly as really the weak point that he kind of is on that defensive side. He is hiding from people. When they play San Antonio and they have Dort on Wemby,
hates him.
like why is Chet not guarding him?
Right. Right, because Wemby makes Chet look
right. So
insignificant. Yeah.
Wemby, KD, about the same to me as far as the defensive side. So you can't send Hartenstein out there.
Yeah.
Dort will have to make a decision. So if you move Dort to go guard KD, then that means Amon's going to be able to, or Thompson, he's going to be able to move around. You still got to deal with Fred. It's like, I don't know. So unless one of the Williams really kind of locks in, I don't know if that I'm willing to give SGA. I'm willing to give SGA 40 and saying you beat me somewhere between Şengün, KD, and Fred. Pick one. Right. Like
I'm not mad at that take. I think Houston has a more physical team, and they have the talent with, like you said, Fred, if he steps up into it, KD any given night, and Thompson being the crazy nutball that he is. I'm not mad at that take. I think I can see it.
And then luckily the bias gets to step in, bro. San Antonio's there. I know that they are not playoff proven, right? I'm still interested to see what that move is, because I still don't understand why you didn't trade Sohan if you knew you were going to release him. I don't know if the trade value wasn't there, people weren't interested, but what they're forming together with right now, what they lack in playoff experience, they do have. We've seen UConn products in the league, and Castle being your anchor where you get to guard the guards, and we see him picking them up full court. Then just in case if you do beat him, Wemby hanging down there. Ooh. But for the finals, I'll be honest. I see them making the Western Conference Finals. I don't have the Spurs making the finals as of right now from what I've seen because of that lack of playoff experience. So with that, I have Houston in the West, Detroit in the East. That's where I'm at right now this week.
I'm not mad at that. I can't even argue with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I still see OKC coming out.
Okay.
I still got everything that they need, and they need to keep capitalizing on this, because the next couple of years, when these contracts start going up, they got to make some really hard decisions. So I think you all in these next couple of years, get as many chips as you can to make the sacrifice worth it.
Okay. So who you have in the finals?
I got Detroit.
You said OKC. Okay, you got Detroit. Okay. Now,
hang on. Because Detroit is not playoff proven, I might sway and lead towards the Knicks. I think this, like, again, might be one of those years for the Knicks. Like, it's your turn. It's up to you whether you get there or not. Kind of like how they had the Bulls from last year. I think, again, like, this could be an actual opportunity for you to be in the finals this year if you take care of business.
Detroit not playoff proven is interesting because they were a sham drop pass away from beating the Knicks.
This is true, but you and I both know there's difference from being in the finals and then also, because, like, how many teams do we know went to the finals, lost, came back, won it a year or two later, whatever the case may be. They got the experience of being in that part. I'm talking about Detroit not being like that experienced.
Oh, so are you talking about winning the finals, or are you talking about making it to the finals? Because I think they have enough to make it to the finals.
Correct. Yes, I think they have enough to make it to the finals. My worry is in the finals.
Okay, now if they play San Antonio, who also doesn't have the experience, and if we're both saying
it's a
Detroit's
at that point. Yeah. It was kind of like last year with OKC and Indy.
Yeah, fair. Now, if my side is there and they're playing the Rockets, I have Detroit. Just off the dog. Off the dog, man. I have Detroit, because if you run in there, it's like you got one of the Thompson twins each. Cool. Şengün does not want to see Isaiah. I'm so sorry. Cade being a dog, if Cade can stay out of foul trouble guarding Fred or whoever they end up sticking him on, that might be a tall task for him, because Durant is playing. He's in the defensive player of the year runnings. I might have Detroit, but if they play San Antonio, we having a different conversation. If they play OKC, we're having a different conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's where we're gonna wrap it up here. But I want us to start the NBA talks next week. I'm gonna go ahead and put a topic list on the docket. if Kawhi becomes a free agent. So that was a Keep It Clean show, y'all. That was a quick episode for y'all, man. We appreciate y'all as usual. Like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. You go follow Abe at Go Big Blue. You see it down there. You can follow me at Sleep Bueno, and then follow both of us on the Instagram page. That's where you're going to get most of our clips. We're going to start working on YouTube Shorts, right? I'll admit it. I'm one of those, man. My algorithm has been heavily protected. You know, I don't do doom scrolling much, and I'm not big on the reels as much as some people are on TikTok and whatnot. I'll leave that for the brother Nick over there. But YouTube Shorts, I love me a good reel. I love me a good YouTube short, man. So we gonna start working on that. You're gonna see us over there. Abe, do you have any comments before we wrap up for today?
Only comment I got is it's okay to throw hands in the NBA.
Yeah, now he's on this. Now we talking. See, I knew you come around. See, I told you. And see, the spark is back. That's the real Detroit in him. We'll catch y'all next week, man. We'll be back.
Every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.